There is a country at the top of North America that the rest of the world consistently underestimates. It is polite, the world says. It is cold. It is large but empty. It is the country next to the United States, defined primarily by what it is not. Not American, not loud, not aggressive in its self-presentation, not given to the particular brand of national mythology that its southern neighbor has always practiced with such conviction. All of this contains some truth, and none of it comes close to capturing what Canada actually is. Canada is the second largest country on Earth by land area. "10 million square kilometers of territory that stretches from the Atlantic to the Pacific to the Arctic, from the temperate wine country of southern Ontario and British Columbia to the treeless tundra of Nunavut, where the caribou outnumber people and the winter darkness lasts for months." It contains within its borders the longest coastline of any country in the world. It has more lakes than the rest of the world combined. Its mountain ranges, its boreal forest, its prairie grasslands, its Arctic archipelago, these are not merely geographical features. They are the defining conditions of a national experience that has produced a people of unusual complexity, unusual tolerance, and an attachment to their country that is quieter than American patriotism and no less genuine. Canada is a country of 40 million people that governs itself in 2 official languages, that has made multiculturalism not merely a policy, but a foundational identity claim, that sits on the border of the most powerful country in the world and has managed, through a combination of careful diplomacy, strategic differentiation, and genuine cultural distinctiveness, to remain itself. This is Canada. The land that defines everything. To understand Canada is to first understand the sheer physical scale of it. The Trans-Canada Highway, the road that connects the Atlantic coast to the Pacific, is nearly 8,000 kilometers long. Driving it without stopping would take approximately 4 days of continuous driving. Canada has 6 time zones. The distance from the southernmost point of Ontario to the northernmost point of Ellesmere Island in Nunavut is greater than the distance from London to Cairo. This scale is not merely a geographical fact, it is a psychological one. The awareness of space, of a country that contains more land than most people could traverse in a lifetime, shapes the Canadian consciousness in ways that are difficult to articulate but immediately apparent to anyone who has lived here long enough to absorb it. The sense that there is always more country beyond the horizon, that the wilderness is not a destination, but a permanent presence at the edge of every city and every town. The landscape of Canada is as varied as its dimensions suggest. The Atlantic provinces, Newfoundland and Labrador, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, are defined by the sea. Their economies, their architecture, their food, their music, all carry the particular character of communities that have lived with and from the North Atlantic for centuries. The rocky coasts of Newfoundland, where icebergs drift south from Greenland in spring, and the fishing communities that survived the collapse of the cod stocks are still rebuilding their economic and social foundations. The red sand beaches of Prince Edward Island, whose agricultural landscape of rolling hills and farmland is the most gentled and the most European feeling in the country. Quebec is a country within a country, French-speaking, Catholic in its historical formation, if not always in its current practice, possessed of a cultural identity so distinct from the rest of Canada that the question of its relationship to the Canadian Federation has been the central constitutional drama of the country for more than half a century. The St. Lawrence River, which carries the commerce of the continent's interior to the Atlantic, is the geographic spine of Quebec and the cities along its banks. Quebec City, the only walled city in North America, its historic district a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Montreal, the largest French-speaking city in the world outside of Paris, a city of extraordinary cultural vitality and of a bilingualism so casual and so complete that switching between languages mid-sentence is not code switching but simply conversation, are among the most distinctive urban environments in North America. Ontario contains the economic engine of Canada. Toronto, a city of nearly 3 million people in the city proper and nearly 6 million in the greater metropolitan area, is the financial capital, the media capital, the cultural capital, and the most diverse city in the world by some measures, with more than half of its population born outside Canada. The Niagara Peninsula, where the moderate climate and the particular soil conditions produce wines of increasing international recognition. The Canadian Shield, the ancient Precambrian rock that covers much of the northern part of the province in a landscape of lakes and forest and granite outcroppings that is the Canada of the group of 7 painters. The Canada that the country has chosen as the visual expression of its national identity. The prairie provinces, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Alberta, contain the agricultural heartland of the country. The flat, vast, horizon-dominated landscape of the prairies produces a particular kind of human character, self-sufficient, direct, suspicious of pretension, deeply attached to a landscape that outsiders sometimes find monotonous and that its residents find endlessly various. Saskatchewan grows more wheat than any other province and more wheat than most countries. Alberta contains the oil sands of the Athabasca region, one of the largest oil deposits in the world, and Calgary, the energy capital of Canada, a city of glass towers and pickup trucks and a frontier confidence that distinguishes it from the older, more European-feeling cities of the East. British Columbia is the Pacific province, separated from the rest of Canada by the Rocky Mountains and connected to the Pacific Rim in its economy, its culture, and its climate. Vancouver, set between the mountains and the sea, regularly appears on lists of the most livable cities in the world. Victoria, on Vancouver Island, is a city of remarkable beauty and a mild climate that attracts retirees from across the country. The interior of the province, the Okanagan Valley with its orchards and vineyards, the Cariboo Plateau, the wilderness of the north, is a landscape of extraordinary variety that most Canadians have never seen. And the north, the Yukon, the Northwest Territories, Nunavut, is where Canada becomes something beyond the human scale entirely. A territory of permafrost and tundra and Arctic Ocean and the particular silence of places where the human presence is so thin that the land seems indifferent to it.